Before I begin today, I'd like to take a selfish moment to say something that I'm sure many of you would love to say if you had this opportunity. So to my friends, my family, most importantly, my mother, my father, my brother, and Nancy, I want to thank you guys for getting me to this point in my life. I love you. I'd also like to apologize that I'm not going to give a typical commencement speech today, and at times it might appear that I get a little emotional. When I was told that I was going to be the speaker, I just knew I didn't want to waste it. So if at times it seems I get a little emotional and it makes some of you uncomfortable, I do apologize. But if you do feel the way that I do, I really hope you'll let me know. The world, as we know it today, is at war. Not at war with any one nation, or any one person, or any one religion. But the world today, more than ever before, is at war with change, is at war with challenge, is at war with struggle. And in any war, there are those who stand idly by, and then there are those who stand forward, face the challenges that are put in front of them, and define themselves to be warriors. Today I'm here to tell you that I'm graduating among some of the greatest warriors in the entire world. Now that might seem like a pretty big claim, but allow me to explain. It doesn't take a genius to see that the world is changing, and what many would say, a change for the worst. With the population increasing beyond 7 billion, food, fresh water, and finite fuels becoming more and more scarce, and nuclear war and global warming becoming more and more of a threat every single day. It doesn't take a genius to see that America is at the front of this downward worldly change. And that which was once known as the American dream is becoming less and less of a reality for so many of us here today. And at the forefront of America's downfall is Michigan, known as the automotive capital of the world. But when the world changed and those jobs left, so did our economy. And so did the hope of so many of us. And at the dead center of all of this is exactly where we are here today. Detroit, Michigan. Known as the Motor City, it is here that has been feared and condemned by so many, but it is here that we have grown. Today, we're not graduating from East Lansing, or Ann Arbor, or Chicago, or New York, or Los Angeles. We're graduating from Wayne State University, in the heart of Detroit, Michigan. The heart of Detroit, Michigan, the single place that has been hit the hardest. But in the words of that Chrysler 200 commercial that we fell in love with 2 Super Bowls ago, the hottest fires make the hardest steel. And today, we are that steel. Now, I may not know many of you here today, and some of you I will never meet. But I can imagine that your stories are similar to those of you who I do know. And to those of you who I do know, my friends, I've seen your struggles. I've seen the challenges that you have had to face, and I've seen the obstacles that you have overcome to get to where you are today. I'd like everyone here to take a moment and think about what you've had to do, the sacrifices you've had to make, the challenges you've had to overcome to get to where you are today. Some of us have lost jobs. Some of us, our families, have lost jobs. Some of us have lost friends, and some of us have lost family. And all of us have made sacrifice after sacrifice and had to fight day after day after day to get to where we are today. And today, when you walk across that stage, you get to show the world that no matter what gets taken from you, no matter what challenge is put in your way, no matter what obstacle you think you can't overcome, you will overcome, you will triumph, and you will succeed. That's right. Because that's exactly what warriors do, and that is exactly what we are today. And more importantly, that's exactly what the world needs. The world today doesn't need a college graduate from an Ivy League tower who thinks they're going to change the world, but never really knew what the world was like to begin with. The world doesn't need a college graduate who spends 4 or 5 or 7 years partying and expects a job to be handed to them as soon as they graduate. What the world needs today are men and women that are going to go out, stick their nose to the grind, make the sacrifices that need to be made, and are going to do whatever it takes to get what needs to get done. And today, when the world is at war, the world needs warriors. And that is who we are today. And for those of you watching here today, friends, family, colleagues, and random people surfing the internet, rally behind us. Let us be the guide that you need to see that no matter what gets taken from you, no matter what challenge is put in your way, you can overcome anything, and you can succeed in the most trying of circumstances because we've succeeded here today. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, and it's true that a lot of us here today are going to have a real hard time finding a job. But I can guarantee that every single person walking across this stage is never going to give up and is never going to quit and is never going to give in to any challenge that is put in your way. Because if we can grow in the place that has been hit the hardest, then we can fly in the rest of the world. So today, we graduate from Wayne State University in the heart of Detroit, Michigan. And tomorrow we get to go to war. But I know that we're going to be ready. Because today, and for the rest of our lives, we are warriors! Thank you very much, and congratulations to everybody.